Ever wondered how a chicken egg compares to a stadium, or if a squid could swallow a cruise ship? Buckle up as we shrink down to mosquito wings, spiral out to the F-ring, and reveal the mind-bending truth behind how big is it really, Milky Way.
What if I told you the ice shelves of Antarctica are over 1,000 feet thick? Most people think of ice shelves as just thick slabs of ice, maybe a few feet deep at most. But the Ross Ice Shelf, the largest, is actually approximately 1,000 to 1,200 feet thick in some areas. That's the height of about 19 Boeing 747 airplanes stacked on top of each other, or nearly the height of the Empire State Building. And here's the mind-blowing part: despite being over 1,000 feet thick, only about 10 feet of it is actually above water. These ice shelves float like icebergs, with the vast majority hidden beneath the surface, holding back the Antarctic glaciers behind them. Did you guess the real size? Comment below, and don't forget to share this mind-blowing fact with someone who thinks ice is just ice. You won't believe how much bigger a dinosaur egg is than a chicken egg. Most people think dinosaur eggs are just slightly bigger than chicken eggs, but they're way more shocking. Some dinosaur eggs were up to about 24 inches long, nearly 2 feet. The largest known dinosaur egg was about the size of a soccer ball. Imagine holding that in your hands. A chicken egg is about 2.5 inches long, that's roughly 1/10 the size of the biggest dinosaur egg. If you lined up 10 chicken eggs, they'd still be smaller than a single giant dinosaur egg. That's how big we're talking. Did you guess the right size? Comment below and let us know. The Kraken was said to drag entire ships into the ocean, but the real giant squid is even more massive. Most people think the Kraken was just 30 feet long, but that was just a legend. The real giant squid can grow to around 59 feet in length. That's just slightly shorter than a full-length school bus. Its eyes are the size of dinner plates, up to 10 2/10 inches wide to help it see in the deep ocean dark. And these squids can weigh nearly a ton, heavier than a small car. Scientists never saw a live adult giant squid in its natural habitat until 2016, when one was finally filmed in the deep ocean. The Kraken was a myth, but the real giant squid is even more terrifyingly big. What if I told you something the size of a football stadium could weigh more than the entire sun? Most people think neutron stars are huge, but they're actually tiny, just about 10 to 13 miles wide. That's about the size of a large city, but it holds about 1.4 to 2 times the mass of the sun. If Earth were compressed into a neutron star, it would be about a mile wide, but still weigh the same. A sugar cube-sized piece of a neutron star would weigh about 1 billion tons, enough to crush a stadium. Imagine a stadium filled with something so heavy it could collapse under its own gravity. And scientists still can't explain how it holds itself together. You won't believe how thin a mosquito's wing really is. Most people think mosquito wings are just tiny, but they don't realize just how tiny. A mosquito's wing is about 174 nanometers thick, that's less than 1,000th of a millimeter. To put that in perspective, a single strand of human hair is about 0.002 inches thick on average. That means a mosquito wing is about 28 times thinner than a human hair, and it still beats between 300 to 600 times per second. Faster than most birds and insects, and yet it never breaks. Scientists are still studying how it stays intact at those speeds. Did you guess the right size? Comment below. What if I told you a single drop of semen contains around 15 million tiny swimmers? Most people think sperm are just tiny, but they have no idea just how small we're talking. A human sperm cell is about 0.05 millimeters long. That's really, really small. Compare that to a grain of sand, which is about 1 millimeter in diameter, 20 times as big. To fertilize an egg, only one needs to win the race, but billions start the journey. And here's the kicker: despite their size, sperm can swim up to 4 millimeters per minute at a speed comparable to the slowest snails. Next time you think about size, remember, tiny doesn't mean weak, it just means epic in its own way. What if I told you Saturn's F ring is wider than the distance from New York to Chicago? Most people think Saturn's rings are just a few thousand miles across, but that's not even close. The F-ring actually stretches about 25 miles, that's about the distance from New York to Chicago. But here's the twist, it's less than 100 meters thick, thinner than a human hair compared to its width. It's constantly shifting because of the gravitational tugs from Saturn's moons, like a cosmic ribbon being pulled from both ends. If you could fly through it, you'd barely feel it, like passing through a giant, invisible ribbon in space. Did you guess the right size? Comment below, and don't forget to hit that like button. Did you know the Titanic is actually smaller than a modern cruise ship's swimming pool? Most people think the Titanic was the biggest ship in the world, but they're wrong. The Titanic was approximately 882 feet long, impressive, but not record-breaking. Modern cruise ships like the Symphony of the Seas stretch over 1,188 feet, that's more than twice as long. And the Titanic's swimming pool? Just 30 feet long, smaller than the average pool on today's cruise ships. The average modern cruise ship can hold around 3,000 to 5,000 passengers, about 2 times the Titanic's capacity. Next time you see a cruise ship, remember, the Titanic would barely fit on its deck.